and welcome to another tutorial on After Effects. Woo! So basically, I've been getting a lot of comments saying to do a tutorial on basic transitions, how to import and export clips, and how to do, all the basic things in After Effects. I already did an importing of audio and clips on my channel, but I guess I wasn't very straightforward and I didn't explain myself that well. So today I'm going to use my voice, which is new, and hopefully help you guys further understand how to work After Effects for those who are starting with After Effects. So first, what you're going to do is obviously open your After Effects, and when you do, you're going to get this page right here, and here is where all of your project files are. So projects that you've worked with before, and they usually go from the time you opened them and size, blah 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 blah. So if you want to start a new project, you just click here, new project, and your After Effects will already get ready for you to start a new project. So usually for MacBook, which I'm only going to show for MacBook because I don't know how it works for Windows, and I'm very sorry that that I don't know how it works for Windows, but for Mac users, you're very lucky because you get to see how I work my After Effects on MacBook. But anyways, for importing clips and audio, what I usually do is I grab the After Effects and I drag it to the side, and usually when I'm editing, whoever I'm editing, I put it into a folder. So for example, if I were to edit I would grab all clips of and I would put it into a folder along with the audio. For example, like here, but I put the audio here. I don't know why. So if I were to open this folder, all my clips of will be here. So let's say I want to use this clip of I just click that clip and I drag it to this section of the After Effects, and already you have your clip here. And then for my audio, I'm just going to do the same. I'm going to click the audio and I'm going to drag it to that section as well. When you're importing clips and audio, you usually put it in this section because then, you just put it in this section. Don't put it anywhere else. I mean, you can put it here, but then it's going to be chaos and your After Effects might crash. So for your audio, you always want to start with your audio first. You grab the audio like this, click on the audio, and you drag it here. This is where you're going to have a new composition, and I just drag it there, and your new composition will be named after the song you want, blah blah blah. So a lot of you guys have been saying that your audio doesn't play or you can't hear it, which is really weird because you usually should hear it. And usually what I say is wait for it to load. Sometimes it takes a while for After Effects to render all of this 3-minute long audio or whatever. And yeah, as you can see, like that little yellow line by the stopwatch, by the time, that's because your audio is rendering. So if I were to play it, rendering, this green line is showing that the audio is rendering and it's ready to play. If I were to put it here, sometimes it usually slows down or whatever, and yeah, it starts getting all demonic sounds, but don't worry, that's just because the audio is rendering. For your clip, what you're going to do is do not, I repeat, do not drag it here, because that's going to create another composition, and you do not want that, because you want to put your clip, you want to edit your clips with the audio, don't you? Yes. So don't put it here. That's going to make a new composition. This is for making new compositions, okay? So you grab your clip and you just drag it on top of the audio like this. Now,
we're at the starting point of this long journey.
As you can see, the clip, it gets a little chaotic because you have sound in this clip. Here's where you can see your audio. If I turn it off like this, that means all sound in this clip will not play. So,
You'll always be my day one.
As you can see, only the audio is playing. Now, before I start the basic transitions, I'm going to show you some things up here that you might need that are very useful. So if I were to go to folder, if I want new project, if you want a new project, you just go here and you click new project. Save is command+S, if you didn't already know. And then import, I will show you how to do all this. This is kind of worthless. Anyways, edit. Here's just basically how to help you. Like to duplicate is command+D, to split is command+Shift+D, and then yeah. Composition. Okay, here's what's very important. Let's say composition settings. Here's where you can change your composition. So like for example, if I want my composition to be a square, usually I put 640 by 640, and make sure this lock is off, because if you put it on, your After Effects is just gonna automatically start putting a shape or like a different thing. Like if I put 800, I don't know. Well, usually, I don't know. Usually it goes kind of chaos, but anyways, turn it off. It's not helpful. Here's where your frame rate is. So it goes from smooth, 60 frames per second is very smooth, and then you have 29, which is like average, and here's like where it's like all choppy and stuff. Usually I like to do 15 frames and 23 frames because my editing style is good for that. For here, this is just the duration. As you can see, this is the duration from the song. I can usually change it to 12 seconds. Not 121, oops. To 12 seconds, and your composition is going to change. So let's revert back to this composition setting is for this type. So if you want a more wide composition, these are your settings, and if you want the square, it's just 640 by 640, but you can always change around, mess around with it, however you want. For this just shows to fit. If I put it to here, it's going to zoom in the clip, obviously. Yeah, it's going to zoom into the clip. Here is where you can have your grids. Basically, if you want to put it in a certain spot, I usually like to do the proportional grid to get things like in the middle. Here's it just, I don't remember what this is, I'm sorry. And here's like where your timeline, so if I put it here, it's going to show the 5 seconds and 24 milliseconds, I don't know. This I usually don't touch because I really don't know what it is. This is your resolution, so if I put it on full, it's going to take longer to render, so I do not suggest you put your resolution on full. I usually put it on half, and if I get really impatient, I put it on quarter, and it just loads faster, as you can see. This is for 3D camera. I will explain this in another video because it's kind of complicated if you're a beginner. But here's like where you can go front, left, top, blah blah blah, and then you can also do like 2 views like this, 4 views like that, blah blah blah. We'll go to 1 view. Alright, so now a little trick I like to use is if I want a certain part, like a certain amount of time. Say I want my clip to be here at 2 seconds. I press N and automatically your timeline will go to those 2 seconds. B can also do that as well, so if I want it here, I'll press B and it will go to wherever I put this little, I don't know what this is called, time indicator. So now to explain here a little, this is where your graphs are. This is motion blur, so I'm going to activate that already, and I'm going to activate it here as well. This is going to make your edits smoother and look more fancier. Here's where you're gonna, if you want to use 3D, this is usually 3D, your 3D little thingy, and you can work with that, but we're not going to work with that right now. Here is where it kind of like cancels your clip so it's not visible. You can also do that here, but we're not going to do that right now. I won't touch any of this because I myself don't even know what this is. Here is where your little clips are, so if I had a variety of clips in here, it will show all the clips and from 1 to how many ever clips you have. Your toggle switches and modes is just a different variety of things like saturation. Usually if I had a color in the bottom, it kind of changes with whatever the color is, blah blah. So if I put, I don't know, red. If I put it like this, it's going to overlay on the red. If I put classic difference, it's going to, you know, it's just changing things, you know. I usually like to do this for some of my effects. But anyways, we're not onto here. We're here for basic transitions. So now that we have that, I'm going to go to the end of here. And for cutting, again, this is for Macs. I don't know how to do it on Windows, and I apologize for that again. But for Macs is command+D, and your clip will already be cut, and you just have to cut that. And then I'm going to cut it in the middle so we can start with our basic transitions. Again, command+D, and your 2 clips are ready. Now, before you start doing your transitions, you're going to first put motion tile, if it isn't already obvious. So you just grab the motion tile and you drag it here, or you can just click on this clip and double click, and it's gonna already add to your clip. Usually I like to put it to 200. Don't mess with this because this is not going to do anything with this is not going to help with your clip. I usually like to mess around with here, either 200 or 400, as you can see in my watch me edits. And this little mirror edges, it can either, you know, mirror it out or not mirror it out, but I usually like to mirror the edges. What I mean by this is, if I don't put this, it's gonna look like, I don't know, like tiles, like motion tiles, and if I don't, it's just gonna be mirrored out. So anyways, now that we have that, we're gonna start in with the scale in. So first you're going to keyframe here. This is your keyframes. This is the start keyframe, and you're going to usually go 1 keyframe before, 1 space before the end of the clip, and here's your end keyframe, and just click that. And then you can zoom in as much as you want. Usually I like to go to 170 like this, and then I put this keyframe towards the end, at the end of the clip. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight both keyframes. I'm going to control right click, and then I'm going to have a variety of selections. And usually just go here to keyframe assistant and then easy ease, and I click that, and already your clip is going to be whoa, oops, let's put this a little more. And I'm gonna kind of put this clip. If you want to move your clip a little, like to a different part, you just go to the end here, like just here, and then you just go like this. So if I want this section, I'll just leave it there. This also makes the clip longer, shorter, whatever. So like I'll go there. So now I'm gonna move this. You can also move your keyframes like this. So I'm just gonna move it like that. And as you can see, that's, you know, it's already making it smoother, but we don't want that because that's kind of ugly. Anyways, you're gonna highlight both clips and you're gonna go here. As mentioned before, this is the graphs. And then here is where there's usually two graphs, which is value graph and speed graph. I usually like value graph, but you can also use speed graph. Speed graph just makes it a little slower and you know, more smoother, as you can see. Yep. Personally, for my taste, I like the value graph because it goes faster, and my editing style is just more preferred to value graph. So for value graph, it's gonna look like this. You just like that, and then like that, and as you can see, it's faster. So we're gonna start with we're just gonna continue with the speed graph like this, and then for your other clip, you're gonna do the same thing with the motion tile, or if you're like me and you're lazy, you just click on the motion tile, command C to copy, and then command V to paste it, and your motion tile is already pasted, and it's the same as the other clip. Now be careful with your composition settings. If the composition settings are different, it might kind of mess up. It might, you know, bring this to the side or whatever. So you're gonna do the same. S is for scale, so you're gonna start your frame here, and you're gonna usually drag it towards the end, like here. And then I'm gonna click this place again, and since we are scaling in, I usually like to go like a little here. And then I go to the graph again, and I put the graph towards this side. So a little tip to remember, when your keyframes start here, you're just going to start your keyframe like this. If your keyframe ends here, it's going to be like this. Basically, for if it's towards the end, it goes like this, and if it's in the beginning, it goes like this. So here's what it is with speed graph. If I were to do it with the value graph, I just go like this, and this kind of restarts your keyframes. So for value graph, what I just do is go like this and go like this, and then I'm going to do the same for here. Kind of restart. Oops. restart the graph. Just go like this and like this, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so that's it for scale in, and now we can do scale out. So basically you're going to do the same. I'm not going to delete the motion tile because, you know, we're going to still need it, but you're just going to do the same. Start your keyframe here, one space before the end of the clip. And what you're going to do is you're going to zoom out a little, like here. And then you're going to put it here at the end of the clip. And just do what I do. We're going to do it on speed graph first so you can see. And then here, just going to do the same, put the keyframe a little further. And here, you're just going to do what you did in the first clip for the scale in, but reverse. So then it should look like this. For the value graph, and you can just go like this, put this a little there, and then do the same. Usually I like to put this a little further back so it's not too fast, because here it'll go faster and here it will go slower. So I just like to put it right here. Alright, so now that we've done our scale in and scale out, now we're going to go on to the positions. So just delete those keyframes, and now I'm going to click on this clip and you're going to press P. S is for scale, P is for position. So here is you can go left and right, and here is up and down. Usually it goes by X and Y, so this is your X and this is your Y. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start by going to the right. Usually what I like to do is I like to stop before you see the other mirrored version, so like about here, and you'll understand why when you see it. And I just go like this, and I do the same, control, right click, easy ease. Now mine is a little different. I don't know why or what happened to my After Effects, but it kind of looks like this, and I can't edit it, like I can't work with it. So I just go here, I go control, right click, and I go to separate dimensions, and it's going to give me both the X position and the Y position. I'm not going to touch the Y position because I didn't put anything in the Y position. So I'm just going to highlight the X position and go back to my graph, and I am ready to work with my position. What I'm going to do is just going to highlight it and easy ease it again, or reset the keyframes like this, and we'll just go to speed and do it like this. So now it's going to look like this, and then I'm going to do the same for here, but in the opposite direction. And you're just going to do the same, so make sure that you don't see the other side. This is just so it can look smoother, it can look better, you know, all that jazz. And you're gonna just do the same. I don't know if you have to do the same for your After Effects, but if you do, you just control right click, separate dimensions, and do X. Whoop. So in the other one it looked different because we were on the value graph, but for your speed graph it's going to look like this. What you're just going to do is you highlight it and easy ease or reset the keyframes again, and you just put it to this side like this, and then it will look like this. See? Smooth. Looks good. Yes. Okay, anyways, you can also do this for the other side, which I'm not going to show because it's pretty easy. And then for the Y position, oh, sorry, wait. I'm going to show you it for the value graph. For the value graph, it's just going to go faster again. So, just usually you can go like that. Just copy my keyframes if you want, like this, and then whoop, it goes faster, and it personally looks better to me. You can do the same for the other side, and then for your Y, you just go up, down. It's just the same thing. I'm gonna go down. Usually for your Y, I don't care personally about the mirrored version because, you know, make sure when you're doing your positions that they're always opposite from each other. So if I were to start here, it's gonna like do a little bounce thing, and I mean, you can do however you want. If you want like a bounce effect, I guess, but I wouldn't personally do that because it doesn't look good. Oops. Oops. What am I doing? So, you know, like this is gonna kind of like bounce like that. I don't know. I mean, you can do that if you want, but usually I do the opposite. So I just go like this. Yep. And now my keyframes are all, you know, jacked up, so I'm just gonna boop like that. Just gonna reset and just go like that. And you know, there you go. Now for your speed graph, it's just gonna look smoother again. I'm just showing you the difference. It's gonna look like that. Of course, it's going to be smoother and kind of slower. Some things that you need to know. Let's say I were to make a mistake here and I didn't want that, and I put like a keyframe here and I was like, well, I don't want that. So usually what I would do is, well, what you have to do to revert is command+Z, and whatever you did will be deleted, and it will just go back to, it will undo whatever you did wrong. So if I did this, it's going to undo that keyframe that I did there, and if I command+Z again, it's going to do that keyframe that I did there. I don't know if that makes sense, but usually command+Z is to undo whatever mistake you've done or undo whatever you want to go back to. So now for the final transition, it is the rotation. So R is for rotation, S is for scale, and P is for position. So just remember that. Or if anything, you just go like this and everything will be there. Opacity is like, you know, you can't see anything. X and Y is, you know, your positions again, up, down, left, right. And your anchor point is just, I wouldn't mess with that, to be honest, because it's going to mess up your edit. And then, you know, your effects is whatever you have on the clip. So like we said, rotation, you're going to start your clip here and put it right here like this. Now you can do your rotation however you want to. You can either go to 90 or you can go to 180 like this. I usually would go to 90 because it will be smoother for the other clip. So I just go 90 like this. You should already know how to keyframe. This is for your speed graph. And it's going to look like this. For your other clip, you're going to do the opposite of what this last keyframe is. So since it's 90, I'm going to do negative 90. And then at the end, I'm going to do 0. That way you can get a full rotation. So I'm just going to copy my graph like this. And it's going to look like this. Value graph. Like this. And then here, you go like this. Now, a little extra tip, for example, for my taste, is if you wanted to go a little slower, I usually bring down this a little down so I can, you know, I don't know if that makes sense, but just it kind of like slows down. So yeah, that is the basic transitions that I can think of at the moment. Obviously there can be more. There are other things that you can learn, but these are just the basic steps for beginners. Usually you don't have to touch any of this, actually. Oh my god. Sorry. Basically the only thing that you need to touch is here, which is where all your effects and presets are, and then usually here. Oh, I forgot to mention. Oh my god. I forgot to mention that. Brushes is for painting, and paint is, basic things. If you want to type, it's command+T, and you just click on the clip, and you just, type. Some things for up here. This hand just moves your clip around, the little clip around. This magnifying just zooms in to things. To get out, just go like that. I don't remember what this rotation tool is. This is for 3D. This is your anchor point. So let's say that my anchor point is right here. I can just go command and click this twice, and it's gonna go right back to the middle. This is for cropping, so I can crop my clip like that, and then you can press Q for different types of shapes. So if I wanted a star, I can just press Q until I see the star, and then I can just crop. And you can make multiple crops if you want. Here's the this is a pen tool. Basically it's like cropping. You can just crop like that, and the thing that you wanted to crop out will come out. So, here is your text tool. Again, you just click and you type. This is your paintbrush. So if you want to paint, you double click on the clip and you just start painting whatever, and it will show. Mine is on write on, so it's going to kind of write on however long I took to make that. if that makes sense. This is a clone stamp. I don't know how to use that, so I'm sorry. This is an eraser tool, obviously, and this is a roto brush, so if your person is moving, you can just crop them, and After Effects will make it so that when they're moving, it's just them moving and nothing in the back you can see. So that is it. Now I'm going to show you how to I'm going to show you how to export your edit. So for example, we're going to go to open project because I already have an edit. We're not going to save. And when you open the project, you're just going to get all your documents, everything that you have, every edit that you had. As you can see, my After Effects crashes a lot. And it goes, usually mine goes in alphabetical order. So, if I can find mine, I can find the one. Okay, so let's open this. Here's a Mingy edit that I made like a while ago. And I already exported it, but you know. As you can see, here's, already, all my clips are kind of like here, for example. This means that you moved a clip and now your After Effects can't find it. So if I deleted it, if I put it in my trash can, my After Effects can no longer find where the original, where it came from. Usually what I have to do is I have to put whatever I put in the trash can back into the desktop or wherever folder I got it from, and then just, go here, reload footage, and usually it will pop up again. I don't have the audio because I kind of deleted it, but yeah. What you want to do is you want to go to composition, add to render queue, and it's going to take you to here. Here's where you're going to render everything, and I will show you once my computer loads. Obviously it was saving, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to lossless. I'm going to click that, and it's going to bring you to this module settings. Just go to format options, click on the animation, and you're going to render in H.264. This is the best. This is how you're going to export all your edits. Usually if you do it in animation, it's not going to go onto your phone, and it's not going to download onto your phone. It's just going to be all whack and not good. So just always export in H.264. You press OK, and you press OK, and here you can usually change the name of your edit. So I can put Mengi or whatever you want, but I'm just gonna leave it there. And then you press render, and it's going to render, and it's going to show a blue line. So yes, I know it's going to render, and it's going to show a blue line, and it's going to show you how many seconds or minutes are remaining until your render is complete. You can stop the render here and just do it again, or you can pause and to save, you press command S, and it's just going to save. Please, for new beginners, I recommend that even though you have autosave on your After Effects, to always press command S when you do a transition or something complex that you want in the edit to keep in the edit, because sometimes After Effects does crash and it does lose some of your precious work, and it does make you very mad. So I recommend that you press Command S a lot when you're editing, because if not, then you're gonna lose it, and that's not gonna be very fun. So that's basically it. Then when you're done rendering, your edit will come out on your desktop. So like, it will come out here, and you just go like this, and you can obviously see the edit is there. Obviously not the full edit because I didn't render the whole thing. But yeah, that should be it. And if you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask. I'm very sorry if you didn't understand what I was saying, but I'm very bad at explaining things. So if you do have any questions, feel free to ask them below. And you can also DM me on my Instagram account, which is ikigai. It's also going to be in the description. So I hope this helps a lot. And if you need any more help, just feel free to ask, and I will always be there. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Goodbye.